Fucking ridiculous.
And here we go. Welcome back to Two Fat Nerds. I am Bob, operating at the soundboard. I am joined by Dubs, Tiny, and our good friend and guest speaker, Chris, we have on with us today. Today we are going to talk about D&D shenanigans and shit that people try to get away with, a.k.a. shit that Dubs does when he's not paying attention.
Holy shit, it sounded like you put some thought into that.
No, not really. That all kind of just came off the top of my head.
You did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Don't compliment him.
I'm just hoping against hope he'll manage to do it again.
Hope springs eternal, yet it's still a turd.
But anyway, like I said, it's just stupid shit that people try to get away with in D&D. Just general shenanigans. Dubs, since we're kind of centering this around you and the stupid shit that you try to pull off.
Bullshit. First off, trying implies failure. Every dumbass thing my characters have tried to do, they have succeeded. They just did so
Ass
with
backwards.
just straight up wrong information.
He is right. Well, I thought they were tied up in the trunk.
Like, I just got enough of the details correct that my rolls were still applicable, and they worked.
That's a nice try to bail yourself out there.
Like, I didn't bail me out, my dice rolls bailed me out. And my characters, like, not only did they succeed, but they survived till the end of the game.
Now, I think the only real example of failed murder math that I've ever seen you pull off is in our Wild West game.
Yeah, that was pretty egregious.
That was horrible, good sir.
I don't remember the exact details of it, though.
You guys were accosted by two men on a street, which they proceeded to call you names, and then Dubs, without rolling any proper checks, and me also stating there was multiple people watching them.
He just
two
goes
is multiple.
bang.
You said two. You said multiple. Two is multiple.
God, I hate him. I hate him so much.
This is D20 Dubs' flawless logic.
Anyway,
Well, just remember, in D20 Modern, he substitutes his own reality for what actually exists.
Anyway, so after having this wonderful argument, which then proceeded to both men being shot, they proceeded to get shot at. Being confused, they noticed there was 9 more people staring at them with guns.
And my poor character wanted absolutely nothing to do with this.
Perception checks are important, people. Like,
Bullshit. You didn't need a perception check to pull any of that off.
would have
It's called
helped.
listening.
That's perception skill.
Let's see, what else have you pulled? What's one of your really famous ones?
Oh,
Let's blow
the
up an
Italian
Italian
cottage.
Oh, yeah. So the setup for this game is World War II covert spy operation. I send them into Italian countryside where they have to kill some German officers. A German officer is inside an Italian
We were
cottage.
given a Gestapo bingo book. We had to kill. There was like 5 people in this village we had to kill.
Anyway, I could not emphasize Italian cottage enough to this man. When the shit went wrong because of some bad rolls on the party, it happens. You can't expect it to go perfect every time. He proceeds to put about 16 pounds of TNT around the cottage and blow it up. And when I explained to him that there was a crater, and his look of astonishment and concern when I had to ask why, he's like, how does a Victorian-style house leave a crater after 16 pounds of TNT?
Nowhere did anyone say Victorian style
I still don't
house.
remember anybody saying anything about a cottage.
I said it multiple times.
I'm going to take Tiny's word for it that he said it multiple times.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I didn't hear it. Like,
But either way, even if I,
God,
but even
perception is not reality.
either way, even if I hadn't, I would still like to phrase this was like the 1940s Italian countryside. I don't know.
Just a little stone building.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah,
It's a crater.
One room.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know where in the fuck you would have gotten Victorian mansion.
At least I only had TNT. If I'd had comp B, I'd use the 16 pounds of that.
And how did we die? Well, we got blown up because he used way more than was necessary for a tiny stone building.
Hey, it worked out because it caused a monstrous distraction and nobody stopped us on the way out of town.
No, it's because there was raining stone and body parts on people.
Yeah, people were much more concerned about the building that was missing.
Mommy, why is it raining pink blood?
Let's see. Oh, this is a wonderful shenanigan when we were playing the Expendables game. I'd like to point out Dubs also. His character had been put in an ambulance.
Okay, this wasn't me not paying attention. This was just me grasping at straws because I thought my character was dead.
But still a shenanigan that happened.
It's all shenanigans, nonetheless.
Okay, I can't argue that point.
I think that's devastating to your case.
Yes.
Anyway, Dubs' character was in an ambulance being transported because he had been...
I fell down a fire escape.
Yeah. Like a 5th-story fire escape. In all honesty...
I dove out, like, Brody started a coke fight, and I dove out the window to get away, not realizing... failed...
Again, Dubs substituted his own
I
reality
failed
for
the
what was
tumble
actually
check-
going
I
on.
failed the
this
tumble
that
check
was-
to roll down the fire escape, so instead of landing on the fire escape below the window, I fell down the entire fire escape below the window.
Yeah, this wasn't a substituting reality. This was a dice roll that went...
This was me.
Horribly wrong.
This was
Yeah.
me decided to take my chances outside instead of standing at the coke cloud, fighting invisible people with machine guns while I'm standing in the middle of the room with no cover.
Yeah.
Like,
In this little case, Dubs had a really bad dice roll that landed him in this specific situation. Anyway, so his character becomes conscious, freaks out, shoots one of the ambulance workers.
No. I became conscious because I landed face down the alley, and Fortitude save luckily saved me from dying on the spot. But while the rest of the party got away, I got arrested. Because apparently they don't like coke fights going on in 5th-story apartments.
Yes,
You don't say.
And since everybody else was either dead or gone, they had to arrest somebody. And they picked the dude in the alley.
Somebody's going to prison.
So, good old Dubs. In the back of the ambulance, 2 federal agents. At this point, I'm captured. Like, they didn't cuff me. Because I was barely conscious.
Mistake number 1.
Yeah, they really should have cuffed me. That would have solved so many problems. But I had a little hidden, like, torn down, like, Colt Navy 6-shooter, like, hidden in the back of my belt. And when they searched me, they didn't find it.
They suck at their job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mistake number 2.
They didn't take a whole lot of time patting me down or interrogating me. Vis-a-vis, I was still dying. So I drew on them. And of course, these good old federal boys, they immediately whip out Glocks. Now again, me trying to improve my murder math knows that their 20 to 30 something rounds is easily going to overmatch my 6 rounds.
Okay, well,
So
you're off to a great start.
Yeah, so I know my odds of killing these 2 before they drill me pretty low.
Yeah, you didn't know how many bullets it was going to take to kill you, but you knew how many they were able to use.
Odds of me killing them, pretty slim. Odds of me killing the ambulance driver, pretty good.
So, needless to say...
So I drew, pointed at them, starting a Mexican standoff, but I won the initiative roll. So I immediately turned and put double tap right in the back of the driver's head. Now, the fucked part is this ambulance is in the middle of a police convoy.
Couldn't hurt your chances.
So, of course, the ambulance rolls spectacularly.
Yeah, you're only doing
It's
70.
a spectacular wreck. The agents end up, I don't know if they end up dead or unconscious, but I was the only one that succeeded my Fortitude save. So I crawl out of the now upside down ambulance. Still with my 6-shooter with 4 rounds left. I crawl out, and by the time I crawl out, ambulance is already surrounded. So I put my hands up, drop my gun, and I go, "Officer, there's been a terrible accident." At that point, they decide I no longer need medical attention and then book me. So I'm sitting in the interrogation room, and at this point, I'm like, I am scraping the bottom out of my bag of tricks. So I decided to play the only thing I could think of, which is the crazy veteran. So the only thing I give them is my 15-year-old rank and serial number. And all they can do with that is run it, which immediately alerts my former CEO, who has to come down and debrief me. And I get remanded into military custody, and for some fucking reason, I get released by the MPs because my CEO decides not to hold me or charge me with anything. So my character, who should have died on 3 separate occasions in this encounter, finished the game.
I have to go back to the Expendables game, because there's one of my other favorite little shenanigans that happened involved Brody, Freshman, and Dubs when they had to do a spy mission inside a warehouse, and Brody and Freshman failed their acrobatics check jumping down a flight of stairs.
Does that make stealth optional now?
Well, they were already in the middle of a gunfight.
Optional implies that there was a choice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure considering Brody was very knife happy in that game, he just started like cutting people.
Yeah, he was the guy that started the Coke fight that had resulted in my previous story.
Point of order: knife fights are usually stealthy because they're quieter.
Yeah,
than
you'd
the
think that.
gunfights.
You'd think that
Vis-a-vis Coke fight.
But needless to say, Freshman and Brody got this wonderful idea that if they jump down the stairs in this amazing whatever thing, they can roll and then continue the gunfight. The problem is you need to not botch trying to attempt to jump down a staircase.
You need to not botch your acrobatics check when you do stuff like that.
And needless to say, Brody and Freshman both landed face first at the bottom of the stairs. Then there was Mafia, the first Mafia game.
Shit. Most of those problems were Brody's fault, and then one of them was Freshman's fault.
Yeah, one massive one was Freshman's fault. Don't break his legs. Proceeds to break the guy's legs.
Don't hurt the driver. Don't hurt the driver. That was the only real directive we were given.
I don't know. I would argue that there was definitely one particular scenario in our current Mafia game that Dubs completely botched up, but somehow it came out on top.
We're not talking about.
No, we are definitely talking about the current Mafia
We will
game.
get there. We will get there.
We're talking about the original Mafia game, where none of the stupid things that happened were my fault.
And in all honesty, he is very right on that one. Like, Dubs was smart for once in a D20 game.
Yeah, it was the one D20 game where I played the leader. It was the only one that went smoothly.
Yeah, because you didn't substitute reality randomly, and you listened to everything I said.
I had to. I was the leader.
So, no. Dubs needs to be a leader in all the modern games.
Yeah, no,
That's what I'm hearing.
See, everybody always expects Stubbs to be the leader in games, even when he's definitely not the leader in games.
I would like to point out
Kalis.
and Walk.
Gethic.
Yeah, Gethic needs to be in charge of nothing. Sergey.
Why is it all your orc-like characters end up being in charge and just be creating
My characters
chaos?
usually end up in charge.
No, I mean specifically it seems like your orc characters, and it's just this whole level of just...
I guess people just decide it's easier not to argue with them, which isn't wrong.
I don't know. For me, I joined that campaign pretty late in the game. But
Yeah, so you figured, like, orking is being done. I wish to do some orking.
yeah, orking is being done. Walk wishes to do some orking.
That was the most autistic level of gaming in existence.
It wouldn't have taken anything to persuade Kalis to do fucking anything else either. And it would take even less work to convince Gethic to do anything else, but nobody seems to care, so
Well,
the quest for lunch continues.
in all honesty, I've only played like 3 sessions in that game, and
Yeah, you don't give a shit either.
I'm just a blind wizard with a talking crow. I don't know what you want from me.
I think we're taking a perverse pleasure in causing a bunch of problems because Alan causes problems in all the other games.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah,
honestly-
Alan hates Gethic.
Yeah, Gethic and the quest for lunch. Joining him is Tho and some bard that could be in charge but has decided to be a chef instead.
and a blind wizard named Alan.
So we're looking at 2 people that actually have leadership skills and abilities and the magical or skill-based authority to take control and aren't.
Yeah, because you're here.
Gethic still doesn't know who the hell he is. Like, Gethic still has amnesia.
But you're not you.
I fucking forgot that he has amnesia.
All
Oh
the
my
characters started with amnesia.
Gethic-
Everyone else is dead, and Gethic is the only one alive with amnesia still.
Well, the other characters cured their amnesia. The problem is Gethic is so ill-equipped to be a leader, he doesn't care that he has amnesia. Because it doesn't affect how he exists.
Gethic. I'll figure it out at some point. Maybe, probably not. Whatever.
If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, I don't care.
Because he's just a survivor. He's all about getting to the next day.
The next meal.
Also, yes.
I'm trying to think of.
Of course, if we want to talk about a ridiculous fail, there's the Cityscape incident where we're fighting a vampire. The cleric fails his will save.
Yeah, botching that will save is the only way I could have failed, too. I ran the math.
Failed it. And then this fucker is attacking the monk. And the monk is so retarded. He can't tell that the cleric is trying to hurt him.
I really
Fails
wish.
3 sense motive checks in a row before succumbing to death.
Well, part of that was I couldn't hit you, so you weren't getting the obvious bonuses. Or the auto-succeed that would have been, hey, he hit me, he's not on my side.
I really wish to this day, when it comes down to it with that one, that I could have voice recorded that entire encounter.
Oh, that would have been great.
Because I'm going to tell you this right now. I've tried to explain to people this encounter, and they go, how? And I go, some of the worst rolls
Ever.
in party history combined.
My sense motive rolls, nothing over a 5.
Yeah, even if I'd have rolled a 2 on that will save, I'd have passed.
Yeah, you needed literally a 2, and you got a 1.
In one character, a very questionable alignment.
Yeah, the roguey kind of guy, he just noped the fuck out.
Well,
Went
yeah.
and found the druid, and the druid's like, I guess we're the party now.
Well, think about
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Well, think about it. If I was the rogue, I'd have done that too, because Brody's fighter got turned.
Brody's fighter's in cage.
The cleric, who is probably the most prepared to deal with vampires, got turned.
I didn't get turned, I got dominated. There's a difference.
Yeah, whips and chains.
And then meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm just trying to figure out, do these guys even know I exist?
Oh,
and then the monk, who's actually doing pretty awesome, then gets blindsided by the cleric.
By the moron with the full blade.
And these guys are all just so busy trying to kill each other. Yeah, no, I'm quite convinced. These guys have no clue that I'm even here. Fucking bye.
well, it's because you were doing really well at hiding, and threats perceive other threats, and you were just like pew pew with some spells, and then you're like,
have some D4 daggers.
Well, it was a simple
Fuck
plan.
nothing.
We draw aggro while he releases the fighter, gets him his gear, and
The fighter comes and helps.
yeah.
But no,
The distraction falls really short when in the surprise round, the cleric fails a crucial will save.
Yeah, when the distraction fails at being a distraction, it kind of makes it very difficult for me to do my
Hey,
job.
point of order. Our distraction was quite epic. The vampire was very focused on us. Very focused on us.
And of course, in the first round, you threw mage armor on me.
yeah, which made it only worse.
that
which
made
should've
my
been-
job so much harder.
Which
Well, sorry for trying to look out for the party.
well, you had no way of knowing. I had been turned at that point because I hadn't done anything because my rolls sucked until I critted.
And there goes the monk.
You critted.
I would like to point out at the end of the encounter, the monk was only unconscious. He could have been saved, but no.
You would have to
The
convince
party
Bob. You would have to convince Bob to save you, and Bob
Yeah,
was
but
not.
at that point, you had dropped a spawn and a vampire. Nothing else has been done because you were the only one doing anything.
Yep.
Which still left 2 vampires and 4 spawn, and then Bob.
Yeah, the drow beguiler. Yeah, you're not convincing him. Oh yeah, we gotta save the monk. No, no.
The drow's
Nope,
like,
time to get out.
the drow's like, let me tell you a story on the other side of this door.
Like, the best I could do was delete my character sheet so they had no stats to base the vampire cleric on. Because I don't know what exactly a Dragonborn Aasimar vampire cleric would look like, but I didn't want to see it.
Hey, calm down there, Fat Hitler.
Well, that's
feel
what
like
he
we could
was.
take
That's what his original character was a Dragonborn Aasimar. Like, it would have been terrifying.
Yeah, I remember what his character was.
But we don't need to remind the DM of what his character was.
You act like I forgot.
There are times where we hope.
There's got to be hope
I
somewhere.
had so many domains.
I know you did. You worked really hard to get that character. And then the first major encounter, you lost it.
Suck less.
My new character's doing a good job.
Your character doesn't do anything. This character decides and goes to slap an altar.
I got better.
Slaps an altar to like some death god. And
Roll.
Yeah, Nate roll.
By the
puts
way,
a mark on his hand. Dumbass has to get an epic level paladin to remove this fucking thing.
I don't understand your objections.
Dubs is like, it
your
fixed it.
character's an idiot. That's what it is.
onto the altar, and now he's fucked until somebody comes and saves
I
him.
had really good saves. I figured anything that could happen, I could save out of it.
Oh yeah, like you saved out the vampire. Thank you.
Yeah, just like that. Like
But
you,
my saves with the paladin were even better than the cleric.
yeah, but Dubs, the thing is, you had such a horrible track record in that
Saves,
campaign.
Dubs. Saves are your downfall.
Plus, I also had the ability to spend my lay on hands abilities to get rid of ability drain, ability damage, and all sorts of other negative effects. The only thing that could have caused a problem is a
bad
A
save,
divine intervention.
curse, actually.
and what? And wouldn't you know it?
Wow, way to go. Fucking curse.
Even if it was a disease, I could have handled that myself.
He was equipped with everything but what the DM had planned to use.
I wish to dismiss this. Why? Because it's devastating to my case.
In my defense, it was only the second cursed item I'd encountered since started playing D&D. It's not a huge part of our group's meta.
He is actually pretty correct on that one.
Yeah, but everyone said don't touch it. And what does this moron do?
Touches it.
He goes and touches it.
It's just like, don't touch it. I'm going to touch it.
All
Okay,
right, Steve.
let's see. Try to think of other shenanigans that have happened. Oh, let's talk about our Game of Thrones game and Chris being a...
I just want to know you to know, I bow the very best, like no one ever has.
before.
I don't care what the rule book says.
The rulebook did not put a cap on my range. I could literally hit people over a kilometer away with the dice I had available.
And I, being the DM of said game, have put my foot down quite firmly on that. No.
In all honesty,
And
I
if the
don't
book
blame
did
you.
say a range on it, the book was terribly organized and we couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's definitely no joke there.
How do we break the Game of Thrones game? Well, Chris is going to enter an archery contest and win. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, the archer is the richest fucker in the entire party, and he's a peasant.
Well, he started
we
off
have
as a peasant.
nobility.
Yeah, you
Who
started.
is more poor than the peasant?
Yeah, you started as a peasant. You're definitely not a peasant any fucking more.
The peasant is now equipped his entire party because the peasant doesn't want to die.
Yeah, what nobody can figure out, though, is how in the blue-balled fuck did this peasant get so good at archery?
Practice.
Practice, because I wanted to bow the very best, like no one ever has.
Kill yourself.
Even in the mass combat, my archer was still running around fucking shit up. Ugh. Without him, they would not have taken the Dread Fort nearly as easily
yeah,
as they did.
I don't even want to talk about that because if it wasn't for Chris helping us with the Dread Fort, we would have not won that one.
No, we would have won. But
Oh,
you
yeah,
and I
yeah.
would've died.
The North, as a whole, would have won that battle. However,
No,
The
I'm-
party
whether
would have
the
been
party
fucked.
would have been successful or not, that's a
Bob,
different story.
See, Bob, when I say we, I mean the party. Because I guarantee you that the NPCs could have definitely taken the Dread Fort. We, on the other hand, would have died at the Dread Fort.
Dude, as it was, we almost did die at the drug.
In fact,
remind
actually,
me.
in that game, given the right amount of distance between him and his foe, he could take anyone in the game.
Yeah.
Granted, he's not going to get the distance, so
No.
the DM's not going to let him do that.
Nope.
I wouldn't let you either.
All right, no,
Nope.
I
Don't
should
like
not
that.
Be sitting there taking out
Bob,
the
no,
main
don't like
character.
Oh, is that King Robert over there?
King Robert died. He was 250 yards away from you. Yeah, I started hitting him like 600 yards away. What do you want from me?
I was advancing and showering him with arrows like 600.
When you get triple shot piercing and vicious means that they, they're dead.
Like, honestly, I think by Raw, the only thing limiting your range is maybe the curvature of the Earth. Like that.
Right? I mean, I didn't see a range cap on the bow. It just says range increment Oh, no, there is a cap because I lose so many dice after every increment. Problem
Yeah.
is, they're 100 or 200-yard increments.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter anymore.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, wow, lose 1d6 after 100 yards.
Oh no. Good thing I already get to roll 14 fucking D6s.
Right.
Pick the best 7.
Okay, let's see what some other shenanigans have happened in games. Oh, so let's talk about our 1-4E encounter that we had.
Oh my god.
So, some little backstory. Who was it? Your cousin was hosting the game?
Your
No,
cousin was a sorcerer.
No, my cousin was there, but he was a rogue in that.
Okay, so who was it?
It was my buddy Josh. He was the DM for that.
Yeah. So we got invited to play a 4E game. Me and Dubs had never really dabbled in 4E, so we decided to see what it was all about. Well, needless to say, because me and Dubs at this point were dove pretty hard and pretty deep, and we bounced ideas off each other, we figured out how to be broken. Level 1 Minotaur, dual wielding, great axes. Large great axes, I might add.
As a ranger.
As a ranger. Dubs, an undead character. I can't even remember what you were
It
called.
was a revenant.
Yeah, Revenant.
It was this weird template that had no level adjustment or ECL boost at all that you could apply to any creature.
Does 4th Ed even have level adjustment?
Not
No.
really, no.
No.
Which is a huge
level
mistake.
adjustment is not a thing in 4th edition.
That sounds like a problem.
Anyway, so me and Dubs, completely not sure if this works the way it does, email Bob's friend, and we're like, or message him on Facebook, and we're like, "Is this right? Are we building our characters correctly? Because we need to know, because we don't feel like it's right." And he's like, "Did you do it by the book?" And we're like, "According
As
to
far as we can tell.
as far as we can tell, yes." And he's like, "Then it's okay." And we're like, "Okay."
Like, we checked the forums agree with our interpretation. They don't like what we're doing, but they agree.
Yeah, we got a lot of hate from 4E forums real quick, real fast.
Well, just remember, there are books and rules. It's up to the DM to make
Well, that's
sure
one of the
things
reasons
don't
why
get
we
broken.
asked. Like, is this something you're allowing us to do? Like,
His
Then
only thing was, as long as it's done by the book, don't care.
and even after that, we built our characters and sent them to him. Like,
Yeah, he approved our final characters. It wasn't like we just built them and showed up. He knew what we were coming in with.
Yeah, and then I just build one of the most vanilla characters I could think of. I'm going to be a drow sorcerer. Little did I know.
It those Eldritch Blast and even numbered rolls break everything. But anyway, so like the first part of the game, we were on a ship, which was just whatever. The ship gets sunk by what I'm assuming is a kraken of some sort. We're never really fully explained on that one.
yeah, we never see it again. It's never explained.
Yeah, we never see it again. It's never explained. But by God, if Josh couldn't be bothered if he
Plot
could be bothered
device.
to spend like 10 minutes describing the scenery.
And the ship itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you see the ship? Gone.
What's even funnier is we apparently a mild storm had come up, and he's like, "How do you guys plan to get to shore?" Dubs, I'll just float to the bottom and find my way. Like,
One does
Like
not
I'll-
simply float to the bottom.
Like, I'll
Sink
sink
to the
sink
bottom.
to the bottom and walk along the shore.
How do you plan to do that?
well, I'm basically
Well, I'm wearing a breastplate, so I imagine it'll take care of itself.
Don't you need to breathe?
No.
no.
I'm undead.
He looks at me. He goes, "How do you plan to do?" I plan to swim. Well, how long can you swim? Well, according
Well, my con score is 24, so
yeah, I'm like my con score is 24, and how 4th Ed shows how long you can swim. I
I
can
can swim for like 8 hours before I
Solid.
need to make a check.
I can swim for 8 hours solid in a mild storm.
I can hold your breath for like 10 minutes at a shot before needing to make a check.
Ask me how I plan on swimming. I'm attaching myself to the Minotaur.
Yeah, literally, I had people just attaching themselves to me, and I'm just like, and we're swimming, and we're swimming, and we're swimming.
Fun swimming.
Like, and your strength score was like 26 or something stupid, so all you had to do, like, you were just taking 10 on your swim checks,
Yeah,
because why not?
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Because even if you rolled a 1 on the swim check, unless it's a hurricane, you're not gonna sink.
No.
No. So then we get to shore, and then it was find food, which the Minotaur found food.
Eating another cow.
Yeah, becoming a cannibal.
Raw.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You had a fire.
We had a
Yeah,
magical
and he was
fire.
actually mesmerized by it.
We had a magical fire.
Hello.
We didn't have an actual fire. We had a magical fire because I tried cooking the cow over the magical fire because fire was, fire is supposed to be fire.
But no, this fire sucked.
This fire did not give heat, and I got pissed and ate.
The fuck
I
is
mean,
the point of
it's a
lighting the
fresh
fire?
kill. It's perfectly safe to eat.
It was light.
Yeah,
It was dark out. We needed light.
Cast mage light.
I think that's exactly what it was.
don't know. Minotaur didn't understand magic.
But I got to shore well after everybody else.
Like a solid 12 hours later, he comes walking up the shore.
Picture Pirates, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah, that's exactly where I got. Well, actually, that's where I got the idea. If it works for a couple
If it
dozen
works for
skelly
Barbosa,
boys.
done.
If it works for a couple salty skelly boys, we can be fine. But anyway, so
So I come up to the fire, sit down next to everybody else. Like, aren't you gonna dry off? No, I'm undead.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm wet.
Why
Don't
do
you need
I
to get
care?
warm? No.
No,
Don't you need to eat?
No.
undead. Don't care.
Aren't
My
you
body
worried?
moves by
Aren't you worried about? Aren't you worried about escape? No. So what's your plan? My plan is to let the fleshies come up with a plan.
And if they die, I will float to another group of fleshies.
Yeah.
Legitly said
I'll
that.
wander the island looking for more fleshies. If I can't find any, I will float to the next island, find more fleshies, and rinse and repeat until I get out of here.
Legitly said this to the DM, who became very, very concerned with this.
At that point, he just stopped addressing me altogether.
Can you blame the guy?
It's not my fault he couldn't grasp what undead meant.
And then middle, we had the most retarded argument in existence of D&D. With the
How to
other-
cast area spells.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Oh man. We
As a reminder, you can cast your area spell at any point within your range. It does not have to be
centered on a creature.
your target.
But we had a wizard in our party that could not grasp the concept. He was convinced that it had to be centered on a creature, most likely the target in mind. Like, no. That's not how that works. And then the very next day, didn't
Yeah.
you ask your little sister?
Yeah, my high school sister with a literal year of D&D experience under her belt at that time.
She had it solved in less than 2 minutes.
She looked, and the most of that 2 minutes was spent looking at us like we were stupid and we were tricking her somehow.
Yeah, legit.
It's like, I promise, this is not a trick question.
We posed the question
We
to
just
her.
drew the scenario and draw the circle for your fireball. She's just like,
Are you serious?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Yeah, that's exactly. She's like, you're mocking me, aren't you? We're like, no, we're dead serious. We need you to answer this. And she's like,
well, the best I can do is hit these three, and otherwise I'll hit either less people or allies. I'm like, wow, you figured it out. She's just like,
we had to explain to her that someone who worked for Windows programming, we had an hour argument on where to place the fireball.
meanwhile, freshman in high school is just like, I don't get it.
And then we attacked a town. That was interesting.
No, we attacked a warehouse.
Yeah, this where the wizard was having a hard time figuring out where on earth he should be focusing his AoE attack. That was the same place where you decided to come barging on in and create a ruckus.
Oh,
See, here's the problem. I didn't get a barge very far because my horn got pinned to the door.
Well, it's because you weren't given enough time to line up your attack appropriately because the rogue fell down the staircase he was supposed to sneak down.
That's true.
Paladin.
Was it the paladin?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
For
paladin
whatever-
decided to join us sneaking through the frickin'
Yeah,
roof for some
for
fucking
whatever,
reason.
a paladin.
Why? No.
A cleric. It was a cleric that decided to do that. The paladin.
It doesn't matter. It's someone who should not be sneaking decided
Yeah.
to be part of the sneaking party.
No, my cousin, the rogue. He was like one of the only other competent players.
Well, yeah, I'm an Avenger, which for some reason has stealth, has ranger skills on top of paladin level combat ability for reasons I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have stealth, and I'm in relatively light armor because I had good rolls. So, yeah, me and the rogue can go in through the roof.
Ipso facto,
Paladin's like, I'm coming with you. We're like,
Why?
I'm stealthy. I'm like, okay, no. Goes through the window, except goes through a closed window, so immediately glass shattered, and then he fell in a flight of stairs, alerting fucking everybody within a 10-block radius.
I don't know what in the hell but we also had a cleric that I think took an alternative entrance and ended up like ended up over like in the rafters or something, and just right below him was the paladin, who was basically unconscious at this point, and he decides that right then and there is the time that he needs to empty out his bladder.
Right.
Yeah, and then I gored a guard and got pinned to the door.
Well, yeah, because your choice was either to attack now and get the one sneak attack you could get in, or deal with a whole with an unknown number of assailants ready for a fight. I'd have taken the charge attack.
I did.
Oh, I mean, because as far as you knew, you had four allies inside ready to fight instead of 2.
Yeah.
Who hadn't had a chance to come downstairs yet because stupid shit happened.
Needless to say, though, we never got invited back after that session. And for all we know,
was there a session 2?
And for all we know,
There never was a session.
I was saying, and for all we know, he never DM'd a game again.
To my knowledge, he didn't. No, that's not true. He DM'd a few sessions of 5e.
And folks, that's where you need to remember that while the rule books have rules, they're more like guidelines.
Like the DMs, if you're gonna allow something, you better plan for it. Like,
I just don't think he was. I don't think he was experienced enough to deal with players of our caliber, to be completely honest. And I think
everybody else was fairly vanilla.
Yeah, Bob was vanilla, but Bob had all these really cool things. Oh, if you roll an even attack, you get to attack again.
Yeah,
6 attacks later.
Bob was vanilla, but optimized. That's an important distinction.
Yeah, I was a very optimized vanilla build.
Yeah, you traded raw spell power for spamming.
Yes.
Which fumbles back on itself to become spell power. It's a magical. It's
a magical ability.
Yeah.
It's one.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. Puns.
Anyway, let's see. What other shenanigans can we talk about in games?
Well, there's everything else Sergey did.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's see. There's the putting the blasting cap in the plane and botching.
Yep.
Getting blown through a hangar.
Yep.
Only surviving because you had a flak jacket on.
Yep. Flak shields, guys, like in D20 Modern, they're heavy, but they're worth it.
Basically, a bunch of Germans coming up to a smoldering Russian corpse. That wasn't dead, but damn close.
Looked like it.
Yeah, looked like it. They also had to contend with the fact their hangar was now on fire.
And inside out.
That too. God, what was the one thing Sergey did that was just, I can't remember now. Oh, the planting of Comp B in the French rail yard.
Hey, that worked out fine.
That was bullshit.
Okay, maybe it was a little too much Comp B, but
No. Your ability to do it was bullshit.
Overkill is underrated.
Oh, you mean my super secret lunch pail debt cord?
Yeah. He took a lunch pail, poked a hole in the side, and as he was walking down the tracks inspecting them, there was just debt cord coming out of it.
Single digit disguise and sleight of hand checks, mind you.
And this succeeded how?
Tiny's rolls were just a little bit lower than mine.
He would roll a 5, I would roll a 3. Let's put it in that perspective.
Well, obviously someone here needs to suck less.
Yeah, the Germans.
They lost the war for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Just because some fat Russian bastard blew up one of their main rail yards in France.
Pay no attention to the rail worker with the forbidden spaghetti noodle coming out of his lunchbox.
The explosive God damn it. The explosive forbidden spaghetti noodle. Let's see, what else did Sergey do that was just incredibly...
Didn't I almost kill one of our own party members in the first session?
No. You almost killed Gable's character, though.
That's because he almost killed me.
I know. Fell off a small cliff, went through a German officer's tent.
Freaking fell off. We were supposed to be sneaking into one of the French towns. We were supposed to be disabling armor in advance of an actual assault. That was the plan.
Okay.
Well, when we got to the top of the wall, failed a frickin' balance check, knocked me and took me off the wall with him. So we ended up falling 2 stories through a barracks. And when we hit the ground, we ended up hitting the ground in standard in the officers' quarters with 10 very upset Gestapo officers who took exception to their.
Why would they be upset? I have no idea why.
Might have something to do with being woken up at like 1 a.m. by a very loud Russian and an idiotic Frenchman falling through their roof.
I don't see how that would be a problem.
Well, they didn't like getting shot at anymore.
Getting shot at. I can see that being
Because
a problem.
Sergei immediately started. Now to keep this in mind, Sergei's weapon of choice was a PPSH with a drum mag that he refused to give up, despite the fact that he only had the 1 drum mag.
Yep. He knows his rights.
So he immediately stands up and starts spraying the entire room. Hey, strafing's a good feat. Full like D20 modern players. If you're using a full auto weapon, get strafe. It's worth it.
Fact.
And of course, I didn't wait for them to fire back and immediately ran out the door. Well, I ended up in the middle of the street, facing down a Tiger 2.
That changed Sergei's tone really fast.
And thanks to the racket, the tank crew had already gotten back inside and started her up.
That's unfortunate.
So I had spent the rest of the combat playing peekaboo with a King Tiger going down the alley.
I'm up. He sees me. I'm gone.
So I hide behind a building. The King Tiger would delete the building. And I eventually got close enough to destroy it.
Well, disable it.
Disable, destroy. They both begin with D.
Okay, I destroyed the crew.
There you go. Like, you definitely didn't destroy the tank
he
itself.
killed
The tank was fine, but it was full of pudding.
Yeah,
He killed the brain of the operation.
definitely did that.
Destroy.
Let's see. There's stupid crap that Wyatt's character did,
Everything.
basically. You know what, though? I will say this, though. That final battle was rough on you guys.
Oh, Point to Hawk? Yeah.
Yeah. Can we give Jay credit that he did not die after even taking like 6 direct hits from those fucking German buzzsaws?
Right. He's the only reason Sergei lived.
Yeah.
Cover fire. It's important.
Sniper cover fire is amazing.
Suppressing fire.
Sergei should have died.
Oh, so many times. So many damn times he should have died.
Kind of wish you would have let him die, because then we
Partial
wouldn't have to
cover is
deal with him
important,
later.
kids.
Yeah, partial cover is definitely important, especially in modern, especially in D20 modern.
It's that +2. It's important.
Yeah, when everything is only giving you +1s or +2s. +2 is a big deal.
We could talk about Wild West and the stupid shit you guys did in that
Do we have
game.
to?
I suppose we do.
Well, Bob, let's hear some of the stupid shit you remember from the game.
Yeah, I was the reasonable one in that game.
Alakablam.
What? I can't help it that it seemed like an appropriate solution to just about any situation we ran into
Bob,
was
you got-
to use a street howitzer.
Bob, you literally walked into a bar, said, "Where are these people?" They told you to fuck off. You deleted someone, and then you're like, "Now."
Well, I gave them a chance.
Yeah,
okay?
In his
Yeah,
defense,
that
he used
transfer-
his words first,
Yeah,
and
Bob-
then Alakablam.
Yeah, I used my words first. I
Yeah,
asked where
one
it is.
batch, 2 batch.
I asked where. I asked if anybody had seen these guys. If anybody had seen these guys, and then they just kind of remained silent. I'm like, perhaps you all didn't hear me. I said I'm looking for insert names here, and they said we don't know where these guys are. Fuck off. Blah blah blah.
And then they spit on you, and Bob took that personally.
So, guess what?
So
he
I
does?
went down. I sat down in the corner of the bar, and I just pointed my street howitzer in the middle of the crowd. And I said, I'm going to ask you one more time. Has anybody seen these guys? They just remained silent, and so at that point, I decided that diplomacy had failed.
I'm for intimidate.
Diplomacy had
wasn't even
failed.
intimidate, he just straight attacked
I
someone.
just straight up blew both barrels into the crowd indiscriminately.
That's very intimidating. Kablam! Fire 1. Kablam!
Fucking
Fire
ridiculous.
It worked.
And then you have the gall to give Bruno shit.
Well,
No,
see,
okay.
Hold
No,
on,
no, no,
hold
no.
on here.
I knew why I was there.
Hold on. See, with the Bruno thing, we're dealing with, so long as you deal with those two guys outside in the car. So what does Bruno do? He promptly walks out, opens the car door, and kablams one of them. Gets confused when they start shooting back because he thinks, oh, they're tied up.
Only one
Nowhere
of them
did anyone
shot.
say they were tied
Yeah,
up.
nobody said this.
So I'll give
Once again,
So I'm going to give context real quick before we go back to a Wild West story that I have to say because I am still upset by the story of Wild West I'm going to talk about. So we're playing Mafia, and they go to shake down a new business, and the characters were like, yeah, that's fine, we'll work with you guys, but you have to deal with these two guys that are watching us from a different family. And Bruno's like, where are they at? And I went, they're across the street in a car.
Now, what I heard...
that's what was said.
Now,
Here's what Dubs heard.
Dubs heard.
What I heard
Heard.
was that they are tied up in a car in the shop that we were in. None of that was said. Not even close.
So so as the DM, I went, okay, what do you guys want to do? Dubs is like, I want to go to them. I'm like, so you're going to cross the street to go to these guys.
I didn't hear any of that.
All Dubs heard was, I'm going to go to you want to go to them. That's all he heard. And I asked him 3 times. And he's like, yep. I'm like, okay, you open up the car door. He's like, okay. And
Double
then
tap.
I double tap. Everyone in the room was so damn silent during this and staring at him so intently.
Mouths dropped wide open at this point. Like,
And at this
He
point...
can't be fucking serious. That's going through everyone's head
was
here.
Brody.
He can't be fucking serious.
That was Brody's look.
And of
Brody-
course, everybody else in the room mistaking my ignorance for confidence.
He's got to have a plan. He's not just going out there and kablamming.
Oh, I had a plan.
that was the plan.
Why would anyone go out there and kablam 2 people who are not tied up,
Because shit's gonna
who
get
are
going.
out in public?
And very much capable of defending themselves.
Not as well as you'd think.
That's only because they got crappy rolls.
Well, I also killed one of them immediately.
Yeah, double tapping.
That helps.
Double tapping someone at point blank range tends to fix things pretty fucking quickly. Anyway, so he double taps the first guy. He's dead. Like there is no possibility. Like he dead. And then Dubs is like, okay,
Cold shot 3d8 to the face.
yeah, like there's no,
Fucked dead.
yeah.
there's nothing you could do. Well, then I'm like, okay, Dubs, now what's your AC? Dubs staring at me, very confused. What is it like this? Okay, hold on. Rolls. Okay, you're being shot. How am I being shot?
I thought they were tied up.
Nowhere.
At this point, as soon as he
that
said that, he got berated by the whole room. And then Dubs slowly realized that
At this point, they have no... The logic I've told you about what I heard, I'm the only one that knows that.
yeah, this was never
At this
shared.
point, I explained to them my reality as it's being torn down around my ears.
By the way, this took a half hour of stopping gameplay because we had to figure out what in the actual fuck he was talking about, and we had to explain to him what was actually happening.
You know, I picked up on all the crucial details.
No, you did not.
No, he did. He did. There were 2 guys in a car.
They needed to die.
No.
Then they needed taken care of. Those were crucial details. He did not pick up on all the crucial details,
But
and
enough
then
of
he
them.
added some crucial
Yeah, I was gonna
details
say
that
he
did
picked
not
up on
exist.
all the crucial details that did not ever, at any point in time, exist.
I killed him.
Yeah, after being shot.
And did we have any problems after that? I never got a thank you.
You didn't deserve one.
I would like to point out my character probably would have just straight shot you for that. Because he was not there.
Oh,
They shot for this. No, I'd shoot at. I've been shoot at before.
Brody's character definitely chewed him the fuck
Oh,
out,
yeah.
though.
But we've never had a peep of trouble from those guys, have we?
You're not even sure who family it was.
No, I was talking about the shop.
Well, they said as long as you take care of them.
Yeah. See? It was handled. I handled it. You're welcome.
Right.
Yeah, we still don't know who the fuckers were.
Yeah, we
working
still
for.
don't know who those people were.
Oh yeah, we do. They were
Now, hold on. Is this actual information or is this Dub's reality information?
Both.
No!
No.
That's not how
Those
this
two are
works.
mutually exclusive. Dub's reality information is the shit you made up, like tied up in a car in the shop.
Okay, I'm like
Actual information is not tied up in a car across
Okay,
the
I'm
street.
like 80% certain this is actual information.
That is not.
I'm not very
confidence
confident in that
inspiring.
one.
Better than 70.
Anyway, so let's go back to the Wild West game really quick. These fuckers are in Kansas City working for someone. They ate the gold.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, that was.
Are we talking about the incident where we stole a bunch of gold,
And then
got caught?
and then blackmailed.
Oh yeah, this is Doc's fault.
Go on.
This is the thing that's Doc's fault.
So they're working for a guy named Kevin Johnson. He's really the main problem of the game, but they like him, and so they're going to work with him. And they asked him. They get asked to do a job for him.
Keep in mind, we are federal marshals.
Yeah,
at this
you are
point.
federal fucking marshals dealing with a guy who's definitely wanted by a lot of federal agencies at this point.
and we're just looking the other way at all of it.
Well, you guys were also scared of him at one point too.
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing 2 barrels to the face won't cure.
You'd think that.
you think that, but they did shoot. But fucking Cookie shot him at point blank range, and he ran.
I didn't say whose face.
Fair. Anyway, so they find a safe on a riverboat, which is full of gold, which they proceed to steal. Well, now there's a bunch of other federal marshals aware that they stole the gold, and they say, and basically they found out they were dirty marshals. Middle, they concoct this stupid fucking plan where they plant the gold in the federal.
No, we didn't plant it. We used it as a bribe.
Yeah, we
when they
bribed
found-
them.
They
we
found
get,
us.
Yeah, when they found us, we bribed them with a portion of the gold, and they accepted the bribe. But little did they know that we are cheaty McCheater faces, and so when we got back to when we got off the riverboat, we went to the nearest sheriff's department.
Well, we were reporting.
Yeah, we reported we reported on a couple of corrupt federal agents.
Did these corrupt federal agents happen to be you two?
Oh no. We were just reporting back to our post for the day. The marshals showed up to report us, accusing us of corruption, thieving, murder, and all that. Where in Doc, and I'm still pretty proud of this thought process, immediately counter-accused them and said I can prove it, and immediately had it search them, finding the stolen gold. Which condemned them because it was the only piece of evidence anybody could offer to prove anyone's story.
Checkmate. All right. Well, we are about at the 1 hour mark, so we're gonna go ahead and cut things off here. We have plenty more stories for a whole nother episode coming to you next week. Goodbye and so long, whatever. You know how it goes. Yeah, if you liked our video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section if you have anything else that you'd like for us to talk about.